नमस्ते मेरा नाम मीना है और मैं हिंदी पढ़ रही हूँ मैं रहती मैं अमेरिका रहती हूँ my name is Mina. I'm studying Hindi and I live in the United States. Since the last video, I had that tutoring session finally, and it was super weird. I had no idea what I was going to be experiencing going into it, and so I made a list for the things I wanted to go over with the tutor, but it turns out that they supply the content, and I have to pick like a unit to go over, and I picked a unit that was definitely not ready to be tutored over. And it actually took me a while to even realize that they were asking me questions. And it took me like an hour to realize that the tutor was referring to me as Behenji the whole time. G is an honorific, and then Behen is sister, so it's like he was calling me like sister the entire time, which I had like no idea. Like, as it was happening, I was like, I am hearing this, but my brain is not processing it. I feel like he's referring to the picture, but in reality, he was referring to me. I also, since the last video, ordered 2 children's books. These are both PanchTantra, and so PanchTantra, you can describe it as the Indian Aesop's fables, except that Aesop's fables, a lot of the stories that fall into that category, are actually originally from PanchTantra. So Panch is 5, and Tantra, I think, is like a book or a teaching or something like that. And so it's essentially these 5 books that cover how you should live your life, and right from wrong, how to engage in commerce, how to engage in war, things like that. But a cool thing is that at the end of every story, there is a moral lesson that they're teaching. I have made it not that far. I've only really gotten this far in the book so far, because when you're learning language, you're usually starting off as a child, in terms of where you are in language ability, and so this is my goal. I want to be able to read these books without problem. Another thing that I have really been fascinated by with learning Hindi are all of the loanwords. And I came across this word, sabun, for soap, and I immediately recognized the word, but I couldn't remember. I was like, no, it's not like, I don't think it's Spanish. And I was like, maybe it's French, but no, it's not French. It's from Portuguese. That's right. The Portuguese settled I believe, the western coast of India. Specifically, their influence is seen in Goa. This word, sabun, comes from the Portuguese word savon. And I then wanted to just look at some other loanwords that Hindi has. So, bedroom is an obvious one. It's literally bedroom. Computer. I just this week learned ticket. And then also kitab is actually from Persian, but it's originally from Arabic. And so you also see these Arabic words in there. For instance, akhbar is the news in Arabic, and a newspaper in Hindi, I believe, is khabar. And so you see this change that happens with the word from the Arabic, where the first sound is like dropped, and then the vowels changed as different linguistic groups try to say this word. And the reason why a lot of these words entered into Hindi is because of the Mughal Empire in northern India, where Persian was the language of the court, and what would become Hindi and Urdu would then was then being influenced by the court language, which was Persian, which at this time was very strongly influenced by Arabic, because it was a Muslim empire. So another word I'm kind of obsessed with at the moment is the word for pillow, tekiah. So I'm obviously Jewish. I think I've mentioned this before. Um, and on the high holiday, there is a thing called a shofar. It's a ram's horn, and you blow into it as a way of stirring the spirit to turn towards God in this 10-day period where you you repent. The word for one of the sounds you make on the ram's horn is tekiah. So I thought that was really funny. Rosetta Stone didn't, because they're just a computer. But I made a point of sharing it with all of my friends, who also didn't think it was funny. But that's why I have you here, because you are choosing to listen to me. So what up? That's all I have for today. I hope you have a great week going forward. Namaste.